That's about as much as I can play. Hey, Zach, what's up?
What's happening?
It's the PONKast, everybody. I'm here with, movie maker and terrible Keno player, Zach Lucassian.
Not that bad at Keno.
Yeah,
I
think you
I won that. Back. I won that time we were up in Rockford.
Yeah.
I think $20.
20. Yeah.
Compared to your what?
Hey, that's 320.
Hate you.
Yeah, that was pretty good because we only played $5 each.
Yeah.
So it's the PONKast. Gonna hang out with Zach for a little bit. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. So you're
Clink.
making movies and shit?
I am. Working on surprisingly a number of projects right now.
Yeah.
So there's I can't talk about a whole lot of the details.
Right.
NDA stuff.
Yeah.
But I've worked on a couple TV show episodes for something that's new. It's not established. It's not even funded yet, as far as I'm aware. But I've worked on a couple episodes for that. Donated my time, if you will. Worked on a couple feature films, varying from indie films to potential go to the movie theater films.
Well, you're establishing yourself right now, right?
Yeah.
Get yourself out there.
Yep.
You're the audio guy, right? You're all about sound.
Yeah, for the most part, I've been working as a boom operator. So if everyone's seen pictures or videos, or you've seen stuff in movies where you see the video team, the camera crew and whatnot, and there's always that one poor sap that's holding a giant pole as high as he can with a giant microphone, which is called, it's usually, if it's outside, it's a blimp microphone. And it's just he's just holding it there, and he's got to stay above the frame line, because you dip in, you just ruin the shot. But you got to be as close as possible. So that's my job, typically on set. I'm working on a feature film right now where I'm actually the first assistant director, which is a pretty big deal.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's a very stressful job.
I'm sure.
And there's a lot to do in this particular set.
It's mostly all crazy people, right? Probably in the whole time you'll be working with crazy people, because crazy people make movies.
Crazy people make movies. That's definitely a thing. Varying levels of crazy. Yeah. I love a lot of the people that I work with. It's a lot of fun. But there are definitely some interesting
characters.
Interesting characters that I work with.
Have you ever poked anybody in the face with the boom mic once you know that's gonna be cut, something went wrong? You ever
No, because the thing one, it's not my gear that I'm using. I work with so pretty much all of the work I do has been based out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and so I boom op for a guy who's the sound mixer, and so it's all of his gear, and he's rightfully so very particular about his gear, just like I will be when I have mine.
Oh yeah.
So you don't bump people in the head, even if we have our headphones on and we're not rolling, but we're constantly listening through the headphones.
Yeah.
People like to come up to you and go, "Hi!" And you see me and the guy I work with just rip our headphones off our heads and just glare at whoever the heck that was, because it pisses us off, because it's much louder for us wearing headphones, but also because typically there's not a lot that you record that's someone's yelling, and so he turns what's called the preamp up a lot, so it's louder.
Yeah.
And then when you yell into something that's already being boosted, it's piercing. Yeah. So I've had a couple times our ears have been ringing. So
that's just assholes.
that's when the guy I work with, his name's Sasha. That's when Sasha looks at me, and I look back at him just being I'm gonna hit him in the head with the boom pole. I'm gonna do it, but then I don't, because I gotta respect the gear.
I see Sasha going, "Here's a bat. Use that. Don't mess up my equipment. Use this bat."
Yeah, really. So, but it's fun. No, I would love to just sometimes just purposely. He's actually told me, because on takes that are for a long takes that go on for a couple minutes each.
Yeah.
It gets really tiring. It's kind of like that saying, it's a carbon fiber piece of gear, so it's really light. But it's kind of like that thing they say, if you hold a cup of, glass full of water, for a minute, nothing. You hold it for a couple hours, it gets really heavy.
Yeah.
It's kind of that same thing, except it goes a lot quicker.
Yeah. Well,
So
and there's something about holding your arms above your head for a certain amount of time. You're losing blood. Like, it's coming down. Like, just your arms start getting heavy.
I've had a couple times, like, just like so starting out, because when I graduated college from Grand Valley, I had nothing to do. I had never done any like professional. Well, I mean professional location sound, but like I didn't really boom op. I was the sound mixer,
Mm-hmm.
but I always had someone like running the boom pole for me because I like in college I was like I'm never gonna do that. And like literally the first job I get on a set out of college was being the boom op, and that's what I've done for quite a while now.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, the first one I worked on, there's a shot in there. I can't talk a lot about it, especially this one. There's a shot in there that it's like almost 5 minute shot that like requires me to like be behind a door when it starts and then like walk in and like do all this crazy stuff because the camera like pans around like you see the entire room because it was an actual built set.
Yeah.
It's like you see every inch of this place, so there's no place I can like start out to hide. And then like it goes on for like a couple minutes, and by the end of it, my arms are like just up in the air, shaking, and the boom pole's just like wobbling in the air. And then like after the take, like I like almost dread looking back at him because like I want to make sure like did I do it? You know, did it go right? Did it sound good?
Yeah.
But the thing is like I can't move, like I can't slide my hands or move my arms on the boom pole. Like once the shot's rolling, you have to be steady with holding it because
It'll
if you just even like move your thumb like a quarter of an inch to the left or right, just sliding it, you hear it loud and clear in the headphones because you know this equipment's very nice.
Yeah.
So it gets crazy.
See you noodle arming for like 2 hours.
It's happened a couple times where I'm just like, oh god, oh please let the shot be over. Let the actor screw up something. This is terrible. Why do I want to do this?
Go to grab a water and just your arm folds apart.
Yeah, really.
Like
but it's fun, you know. You do it long enough and you build up stamina working on it, and so you get better at it.
Well, yeah, you gotta get used to, you know, holding your arms up, doing all that stuff. It's muscle memory too. Mm-hmm. It's probably getting easier now.
It is, and part of it, like as you get further like experienced with doing that kind of work, like you realize like you don't, and like Sasha like mentors me a lot, but like you don't have you don't have to have your arms up all the way above your head sometimes, especially like I love the scenes where like they're sitting down because like standing up, just having my arms like up to shoulder height, like that's like I just like rest my arms, and then like it's just super easy, and then it's just going back and forth. Yeah, but also like figuring out like where to point the microphone because you don't always point it right at their mouth, and it's crazy, but it's definitely something to get used to.
So you're saying if you had a build like me when you're really fucking tall, it might help out a little bit.
Being taller is definitely easier.
Yeah,
definitely, because it's all a matter of like where your arms can sit. So, but like you know, I'm shorter than he is, and sometimes like especially when I started, like he boomed a couple times to like show me the ropes. Yeah. And like so he would boom and he'd show me like, yeah, this is about where you want to hold it. And then like he's like, all right, you know, you're gonna do it. We got to get you an apple box, which an apple box is just a wooden box, rectangular, and it's just something that you use on sets. And so like I have to pretty much always stand on an apple box if someone's standing just to get high enough. Yeah. So
that sucks.
It's fun. Sometimes like depending on like what we're shooting though, like we won't worry about a whole lot because like you know with anything media or like recording that's going to be edited, you know, we can take the audio from a shot of like just their face or close up or medium where we can get very close and use that for like a wide shot where it's like on a wide shot we can't be anywhere close to where we need to be.
Right. That's true. Probably a little easier going that way.
Yeah, it definitely is. So, you know, it's all depending on what we're doing. But.
Getting any fights yet? I feel like tension's always high. Did you get any fights out there?
No fights, and I'm going to try to keep that at none.
Yeah.
Because I you know, it's all reputation. The working in the film industry, it's all who you know and your reputation of yourself to other people. Mm. So, you know, if you get in a fight on set, people are going to talk, whether you want them to or not. They're going to talk. And someone's going to go, oh, you know, do you want to hire Zach? I don't know. I heard he got in a fight with so-and-so.
heard he used a bat on someone's face.
I think he murdered someone on the set.
Not that they didn't have it coming, but it might be a little bit too dangerous to bring him on ice.
Yeah, so I mean, it's all reputation. So you got to know how to act on set, and just know, like, at the end of the day, like, you go to a bar with a couple other crew members or some friends or whatever, and you just
laugh it off.
Talk about, oh my god, I can't believe X, Y, and Z is happening. That happened. Yeah. I mean, everyone does that. That's with any job, Yeah. Something happens at work, your boss is an a-hole, and you just smile and grin, and then later on, you're just like, that effing a-hole.
It's just every time at lunch. God damn it, Dick.
Oh.
Plenty of times.
Dickster.
The Dickster.
Diesel Dick.
Yeah, he's fun.
I think he only did that once this year, right?
What's that?
He put regular unleaded gasoline into a diesel engine. Or no, he put diesel into a regular engine, I think it was this year.
That's what it was. He switched it up this time. Because the mower, it was... silence. The mower, it was the regular into the diesel. Mm-hmm. So we tried to counter that out by putting diesel into regular this time.
Constantly changing it up.
Yeah, it keeps you on your toes though, right?
Yeah. not even just with the gas. Just get out of his way once he starts moving. Like I'll run you over.
I'm glad I jokingly laid down in that truck bed when he hit us.
Seriously.
We watched him. We watched him put the truck in reverse. He puts his arm over the side. He's looking backwards, floors it, goes forward, hits us. I'm in the truck bed. Oh, jeez.
Me and Ponke worked together at a park, and we idiotically got a vehicle stuck in the woods and the trails, and we had to get some help getting the truck out. Well, long story short, we didn't know that manual locking hubs were still a thing, so that could have saved us a lot of trouble.
Truck.
On a 2016 Super Duty truck, they had manual locking hubs because it was more expensive to put that on than just have automatic, because they were afraid people would just drive around in four-wheel drive all day. But anyways, we call two of our coworkers, Dick Deer and another guy, and have them come out, and we called the other guy first, and we're like, hey, can you come out? It was the end of the day. Can you come out and help us? Yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, sure. And then 2 seconds later, I'm still on the phone with him, and he goes, all right, Dick's gonna come get you. And I'm just like, no. Can you come instead? And he goes, I'm gonna come too, but he's already in the truck and he's already got the strap. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. And so me and Ponke they're like, uh-oh. So we get the truck out there. He hooks it up, and I jokingly at first, like you said, laid down in the bed because I'm like, he's gonna smash into this truck. Something's just gonna floor it into this truck, and it's not gonna be good. And you were like, huh, yeah, probably a good idea. And then we lay down, and then we go, all right, go ahead. He just like you said, we see him put in reverse and look over the side, and then bam.
Yeah, fucking boom! I see Corky. You can't look at him. Couldn't look at him for the rest of the day. Just like, oh, Dick. Just couldn't make eye contact with him. Put a nice little hole in that front bumper of theirs. He hit the ball of our truck, so our truck was fine.
Luckily, that's not a good truck that they were using.
Yeah, no,
it was the company's probably crappiest, oldest one. Well, as far as pickup trucks go, it's the oldest one. They got that old dump truck, which I don't think would have even.
Know if that runs. So yeah,
And then you almost got me murdered by our boss the next day. Oh, go in. You have to come in from the front of the trail. There's enough room the entire way. Our boss is just screaming and cussing.
Thankfully, you're with him and not me.
Oh, that's the thing. I think he would have been more okay with murdering me than you. Yeah. I mean, you're still working there. I'm done just because of seasonal time. But he snuck you back in there. But the entire time, I'm like, I hope we don't get stuck, because this is the truck that unstucks most things. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he would murder me. The entire way, I'm like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Ponke said this was good. This was a wide enough trail, but it definitely wasn't.
I didn't say it was wide enough. I said that might be a shorter way. and it wasn't.
That was like a mile and a half.
Yeah, that was bad.
I think at one point I was like, we were going and like along the path, we're along a lake, and at one point I look over, and I can tell like we are like a mere inches from like falling off of the trail and going into the lake. And at that point, I don't even have to be worried about killed because like I'm pretty sure like I just wouldn't even be able to get out.
Well, yeah, if the water didn't kill you, Pete woulda.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Mark just goes up to it. They didn't lock the hubs.
We get there and the truck's already moved, and he's just like, "What the hell?
Oh my God
effing damn!"
He was so mad. We're like, Pete, how the hell are we supposed to know he's still locking hubs on a 2016 F350? That was bad.
Yeah, but luckily, our shame didn't last long at that.
That's right, because it was the same day.
No, the next day.
Was it the next day?
Yeah,
because that was the end of that day.
The kids that work at the park, I say kids, they're like high schooler kids. They like destroyed, what was it, the golf cart?
The brand new Kubota.
Oh, the brand new Kubota 4x4. Like, oh my God, they like screwed up the door and like they just like that screwed them. Yeah. And I think one of them actually got like written up about it.
So no, that was the day that they pulled us out because remember we got it stuck and said
the day, yeah,
no one, and we just went to the bar and drank it off. I get a call from Pete like, "Hey,"
yeah, because Larry said something.
Yeah, like, damn it, Larry. He's like, "You left it out there." I was like, "It's fine." He's like, Someone could vandalize it, burn it down. I was like, I'm pretty sure if someone burns that truck, you're gonna have a bigger issue than a burnt truck. That was in the middle of a forest.
That was what he was like. His primary like complaint about like the entire drive from the yard to the truck going down the trails. Like his entire time, he's like, these effing kids, they come out here, they'll break through the windows, torch a truck, paint it, vandalize it, and I'm like you said, it's like. Well, I'm pretty sure we would have known if they burnt it down by now.
Yeah. We wouldn't have trees to go through right now.
Yeah, really.
At least when they got there,
it's the least of our issue.
Giant inflatable toucan sitting in the truck.
Oh my God, that made it like 100 times funnier, but worse at the same time. Because then he just looks at you because he knows it's you, and it's just like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. And it was just sitting there in between the two seats, just staring out the windshield like, it started out as such a good day. It
did, and then you got stuck. This is what made us bring the truck out there. Is you got stuck.
I got the Z stuck.
And you run all the way from there, like 2 miles, back to the truck. Where I came out of the other end because I was leading in the trails, and like I got ahead of you, but then like I sat there for a while. And I'm like, I think something happened. I'm gonna go to the truck. Maybe he like took a path. Something I don't know. And you're like just sitting there like,
and the mower's not. By
the mower's nowhere near you. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, that was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Good times. Yeah, it wasn't as crazy. I almost killed Bob this year.
Really?
We were pulling picnic tables out of the water.
Oh, I was there for that one.
You were there for the one where I almost killed him, though.
I thought, oh, right. There was many times.
Oh, yeah. Bob's life is always in jeopardy. But this particular time was, we got it hooked, we got it chained to the truck, started pulling, and forgot the number one rule is a chain's only as strong as the weakest link. And as we're pulling, I just hear like a snap, and I lose a lot of tension. I'm going. Bob's back there trying to make sure that it's still lined up. And I just look back in the rearview mirror, and I just see Bob kind of put his hands on his knees.
And bend over.
Just like really contemplate life and look over the water. While he was back there, it snapped. And then one of the 3 steel prongs that made up what was around the truck fucking ball snapped and went like just past his ear, like just past his head. He's like, I heard a whistle. I went, what was that? And then I heard a loud splash way out in the lake. And then he looked and saw that piece of steel missing. He's like, oh. It's like, hey, sorry, Babbo.
Let's do it again.
We did. We still used it. We still used the one, even though one of the pieces of steel went, it can't happen a second time, can it? And it did.
It did.
But that one just broke and fell right in the water, so. Yeah, we weren't the smartest about that thing.
No.
Got the table out, though, with the one of the 3 left.
You used it even with the dead one?
Yep, with 1 out of 3, like, okay, 2 broke off, but there's no chance all 3 break off, right? The third one held on.
It was a DIY made grapple hook made out of just 3 pieces of
like reinforced
rebar.
steel.
It was
rebar.
like 3 short pieces of rebar that just were like they welded together and like heat with a torch like just bent parts of the hook, of the rebar back to make a hook. Yeah. And so like I was like we were using it the day before, and like our like boss handed this to us, and I just look at it, I'm like, this is what we got? Like, really? Like, isn't it probably like $50 to get like one that's not gonna like murder people? And like he's like, no, yep, man, this is what we got.
So strong. This thing's strong as yeah, Mark. Okay, tell it to Bob's hole in his head.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Poor
it worked
Bobo.
really well for getting that can out. Remember that can that someone threw into the boat launch?
Oh yeah, because there was no hole on the bottom of it. I hooked it. I think actually in like literally the first try. I hooked the handle, and I'm like, oh, son of a gun! Like I like looking at it, you can't see the bottom of the can, so you just think like it's a trash can, sitting up, right? That's just full of water, and I'm like,
it's gonna be so heavy.
There's gonna be 3 drain holes at the bottom, like pulling like what is it? It's a 50-gallon trash can, 50-gallon drum with a top come out of it.
Yeah.
That's just gonna be full of water, slowly draining. Pulling that out, I'm like, that's gonna be a pain. Like I hooked it and like fully expected like all 3 of us to have to like pull on it, and it just like came up like bloop right out of the water. And I'm like, well, that was easy. And we look, there's no bottom.
Yeah. Who knows how long it was down there too?
Well, I think like the bottom, like I mean, all those trash cans, like half of them are like the bottoms are like half gone anyway. So it was probably like missing like the bottom entirely. And someone just was like,
yeah, fire.
What?
There's a fire.
I'm just gonna silence it, but what the heck is that?
Oh, is that your phone? Amber alert?
Sad. That's an Amber alert. For Muskegon.
Hey.
But I mean,
well, you're over there a lot though.
I am over there a lot, so it's probably my phone going, well, you're usually in this area. Did you do it? No.
She's not in my basement back by Detroit. What else is new and exciting? Lions are awful. You're probably not even paying attention to the Lions yet.
I don't.
We almost gave up. Cleveland is winless right now, and we almost gave them their first win. Like that would have been sad if we stopped somebody from being the next 0-16 team.
Oh no. Yeah, let's give them the title.
So wait, have I told you? That's right. I mentioned it when you came in for lunch. Was it yesterday?
Yesterday.
I didn't tell you the story of the wedding. I was like choking out a lady and a gun. You were like, no. Okay, so I'll keep it short. But
well, you told me, but you haven't told them.
Oh, I did tell you about it?
You did tell me.
I feel like there's another one that I brought up, and you said I didn't know about that, and then it was the end of lunch, and I had to go.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'll just tell them quick. It was too much drink. Oh yeah, I told this to the whole freaking lunchroom. This was stupid. Why did I tell them?
I don't know, but now they all think you're an alcoholic.
Yeah, Pete was looking at me with like half shame and half pride. He was like, good for you, but Jesus. Yeah. All right. So I drank too much in the middle of nowhere, and I don't want to tell that story on here yet.
No.
All right, fine. So drank too much at a wedding, open bar all day, whatever. We're in Bad Axe, but the reception was in a golf course in Ubley,
which is at the top of the thumb. Yeah. Not the Ubley in northern Michigan, which apparently is like
I didn't even know about.
Didn't know about, but like Pete was like, up north Ubley? Like, surprised you didn't get like raped.
Yeah, it was like north of here, yeah, in the thumb. He's like, oh, it's not that one. I know nothing about that other Ubley, but I apparently don't want to go there.
Which one? It's odd enough that a place is called Ubley,
Yeah.
but there's 2 of them in Michigan. Son of a bitch.
You got a lot going on today.
I don't even know. I'm just gonna turn it off so it stops.
Maybe it's the lady you stole from Muskegon trying to get out of here.
I don't even know who that is.
It's alright. It's fun. It's fun, spontaneous noises, Amber Alerts, and phone calls. So
we're not using any of it though.
Yeah, we might shut it off, but we're not using it. So yeah, I woke up in a field, as Ponke would, and like short highlights. I got into a few work trucks. I got into an entire giant garage. People just left stuff unlocked because it's the middle of nowhere. It's like 6 buildings and a gas station. I got into this one truck that had a bunch of keys in it, so I tried like all of them. Just because, I'm not trying to Grand Theft Auto anything, but I was trying to get back to the people I knew, so...
Even though that's literally the definition. Stealing a vehicle.
I didn't do it, alright? But when I looked in the back seat to look for more keys, I saw a gun case. And I was like, well, it would be irresponsible for me to not teach them not to leave an unlocked truck with a rifle.
Loaded, too.
It was a bolt-action loaded .22 rifle, and I just... To make a point and teach them a lesson, I just, unloaded all the bullets into the floor and let them all scatter and took 3 of them and then left the gun out. But I wiped everything because, I was like a Mission Impossible movie. I wiped everything with my sleeve. And so long story short, I get into a few more trucks and mess stuff around just to make sure people knew I was there. And I sit outside of this gas station. And this lady comes in, or walks up to it, before I can even, put my head back, she's like, it's 6:30 in the morning, I'm opening up, what's going on? I was like, So she lets me in, I wait till 8 a.m., there's these 2 guys having their morning coffee, they're like, I'm going to get parts in Bad X, it's right across the street from your hotel, you want me to take you? I was like, yes, please. So... He drives me all the way out there. Good luck on whatever your adventure brings you to. I was like, thank you, kind sir. Tell no one that you found me in a muddy suit on the side of the road.
That's the thing. You're in a suit this entire time, except what? You're covered in mud or something?
Yeah, knees down, because I was, I guess what I fell on when I first landed in the field. And it was kind of muddy, so, every time I'd slip, I'd fall on my knees, whatever. So I walk into the hotel room, and my poor buddy Ben is flipping out on me, like, what the hell, we lost you, just walked off. And as he's yelling at me, just threw the bullets on his bed to shut him up. Said, I want to lay down. He's like, okay. But yeah, I forgot about the choking the lady part, but that's for another podcast. That's enough of a confession for me.
I'd like, just to briefly mention that, that happened, and you were pulled to the side and told sit here, don't move, you are in a timeout chair right now, effectively is what they were saying. And then they turn around for a second, turn back, and you were gone.
That's what I do. I usually because I always disappear whenever we were places but usually it's Grand Valley or somewhere I know, so I'll go disappear when I'm not really having fun or people aren't talking to me, I'm not enjoying myself at whatever party we're at. I'll go on an adventure and then I'll come back because I know where I am. And this time it didn't happen because I was in the middle of nowhere up north.
See, I remember, I think, along that lines of, you just, disappearing and, people, frantically being like, where is he? Freshman year of college, I remember, I'm not gonna, go really deep into, it, but, you, went off on your own.
Okay.
And, were, not, hiding. You knew where you were, and, you picked a place on campus that was, right out in the open, but
in plain sight of
it was
darkness.
dark. We couldn't see, we couldn't just see you. It, we were just looking in that area, and so me and a bunch of our friends were running all over North Campus, is he here? Is he here? He likes to go here. He likes to go there. Oh my God, where is he? And people went down to the ravines of the campus and
Yep.
trying to find you, and finally I find you just sitting in front of the Commons food court building, in the chairs, and I find you there, and I'm just really? This is where you are? And so I sit down and join you for a little bit, just because I was laughing my ass off at how I then too got to watch all of our friends run around back and forth around the building, up and down the streets around that building, and it was hilarious.
Because you were like, you've been doing this for like 2 hours, just watching us run back and forth like idiots. Like, yep, I just decided to sit down in the dark, put my hat over my eyes, and just kind of watch everybody. Yeah. I like to go off and disappear. Good times. Let's see. So, you said you might have to get some work going this another couple of days. Seems like every time you're like, nah, I'm free for like a week. And then like the next day you'd be like, I have to leave for a while.
Well, that's like that actually happened to me just last week. I don't think you knew when it, because like we were going to try to do this last week. And then like I just like text you again like this week being like, hey, let's do this. But like I think it was like Monday I said, hey, let's try to do the podcast this week. And then Wednesday night I get a call from the guy in Grand Rapids who brings me on to jobs and was like, hey, it's Wednesday night, but can you be here tomorrow for the weekend? and I'm just like, sure. Yeah. I've got nothing going on, so I'm not gonna say no. Yeah. And then I was gone until Sunday. I came home Sunday afternoon. Yeah. So, but it's like, oh yeah, like right now I say like I can say like, oh, like I don't have a job until like literally the day after Thanksgiving. I have to be out of town. But then like watch like later this week, early next week, someone will be like, can you like come to like Grand Rapids, Charlevoix, Saginaw before Thanksgiving? Take a 3-hour car drive tonight. Yeah. So it happens. I mean, it's good because it's work. Yeah. Some of the stuff like I've been working like stuff where it's like it's paid, but then like half of it's what's called deferred comp, so I get paid later. Yeah. So, I mean, it's all good. But like this thing that I'm working on right now for this film, like it is paid, and it's like I'll get to, rest assured that like my gas expenses will be covered, and I'll get a little bit on top of that too. So that's always good. Like
that right before we started doing this show, you like, I might be traveling tomorrow. Like, it's always last second, man.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be probably like the biggest baller of all my friends by the end of this once this starts taking off.
Well, I think baller as far as like I have a fun job. Baller as far as like I'm loaded with money, probably not.
Maybe.
That's what I have Emily for. She's working in the medical field. Once she graduates, she'll be the baller for me, and I'll just
have fun and make movies.
Have fun and make movies.
We were all happy to find out after a few months of you working on this that it wasn't porn.
That actually funny story.
Yay!
Funny story about this. So I was working a job. This past thing I went out of town last weekend for, was working like a TV episode. So it had like all these episodes have like different directors, but it's for the same show. Yeah. And that's like all I can go into. But like I was talking to someone, and like you never know working in the film industry like what people's like backgrounds are, like what they do for like money day to day. And so like there's gonna be like it's like I had this conversation with someone else, like it's really like there's always work in the film industry, like whatever side you want to work on, like in front of the camera or behind the camera, which for me is obviously behind. But there's always work. You just gotta define your limits and how low you will go. So porn is definitely on that list of like how low will you go? Yeah. Like will you go as low as porn? Which depending on what you do, actually pays very well.
Do they use boom stands?
I don't
bang stands.
Oh god, I don't know. I don't want to know. That I haven't decided if I haven't put that on my I will go that low.
Yeah.
I'm not in a place where I'm like scrounging for money yet.
Yeah. No,
I am scrounging for money, but right now I'm in the positive mode of like I can still get work. I don't need to go do that. But
if you do, at least stay on the audio side of things.
Yeah, no, as
or goggles.
As I might have heard this before, but I can't remember, so I'll just say I coined it. But I was talking to this one guy who was a director of photography on a project that I was the first camera operator for when I was in school. And he's worked in the industry for years. He's worked in California, everywhere. And like I remember like offhandedly he was like, "Oh yeah, like like something porn." And I was like, "Wait, like you've shot porn?" Like, and it came as like kind of like a shock to me because like he's really successful at the job he does, and like he's worked on a lot of feature films. He worked on like Batman vs Superman was the last like big movie. It's not like a great
Yeah.
in the industry. Like that's not a movie that's like, yeah, I worked on the movie because like that movie kind of sucked. But like he
When it
said
first
that,
came
and
out,
I was
he
like,
went,
wait, you worked on porn? And as he said to me, he's like, well, you got to get your dick wet somehow. You know, at some point, you got to, you know, just
Yeah.
at least once. And so, as I've aptly coined it to my other friends, I will never be the interactive cameraman. I have no interest in that. Sure, you know, if I go that low, sure, maybe I'll be the camera guy, but I'm not gonna be the interactive camera guy, if you will.
I mean, if you gotta hold the boom stand, just wear goggles just in case. I don't know.
Wear goggles and a completely like
just a hazmat
suit.
Looking like the guys from Monsters Inc. with 2319.
Yeah, really. But anyways, to get back to like the what started this funny story is that it was another situation where I'm like just offhandedly I heard like someone on the set being like, oh yeah, like something porn. And it's not like the context of it's made it sound like that's what she does, like for a living.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't the context of like I'm the actress. It was I direct is what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Is that she's like the director or whatever. But I kind of like I got a chance like not like directly be like, so you work in porn, you know, but like being like, oh, you know, so like what do you do outside of this? You know, what's your background? She goes, I caption porn.
Caption.
So like the subtitles.
Oh,
She writes the subtitles for porn movies.
that's amazing.
And I'm like, my reaction was, you do what? She goes, yeah, like I caption porn movies. Like I write the closed captions for them.
Oh my God.
And she's like, anything that like on like legitimate websites that gets streamed online, like so you know like, I mean, or like for like movies and stuff.
Yeah.
You know like Pornhub's community videos won't have them obviously because they're
it's like the lowest of the low, right?
right. But like if you like go and watch a porn movie, they have to have captions on them because of the ADA, the American Disability Act. Yeah. Someone has to write those. It's not just a program that like automatically generates it. You have to sit there and write it, and it's like long, grueling work that she. And I asked him like, is this like work that you do like from home? She goes, nope. Like you go into an office and you work long, grueling hours, and you and a bunch of other people around you just sit there watching porn and captioning porn all day.
Does she just do the dialogue, or does she have to use like crazy like adjective for noises?
I didn't get a chance to ask that, but I'm just like, how? Like, are you literally just being like captioning like, I'm gonna bang you silly, like you know, like the really cheesy stuff, or like, are you like captioning like the moans and groans and like anything else? I mean, it's anything that's like auditory, so she's not like captioning like and he thrust. No, it's not.
No, it's like but like headboard hits wall.
Yeah,
all
head thud.
Stuff. Yeah,
you know,
like bitch slap. I don't know.
No, like it's not them describing everything that's happening. It's just like know,
it's all the auditory stuff.
Like a slap would be like I think like from what I've seen in like captionings because I watch every now and then with subtitles. Like it'd be like asterisks.
Yeah,
slap.
That's what I'm saying. There's just a lot of asterisks you gotta come up with, and that kind of.
And then there's asterisks.
Probably shouldn't be this like fascinated.
No,
it's a weird thing that
it is a weird thing, and I'm just like. I want to know more just because I'm like, that's like one of the most interesting jobs that I've heard of as far as this goes. Because it's like, you never think about it. Like, someone has to caption porn movies. And like, like a day or two later on set, like, I just like heard her offhandedly go, do you have any idea? Like, I've counted the number of different assholes I've seen in a single day before. And I've lost count. And I'm just like, that is a sad life you live.
She's not talking about just jerks.
No, the real deal.
The black hole.
Yeah. So
goatsy.
It's an interesting time.
Yeah.
I'm like that's interesting. And like she mentioned like a few other people that I happen to know who also do the job. I'm like, I would have not have guessed it. That's their day-to-day job to make money between film sets.
It's like I wonder if like they consider the people that just put the asterisks and moans and groans like every time, right? Seems like those are the lazy ones.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones that are like, I don't know trying to come up with an actual reference. Like, you ever hear Scarlett Johansson when she takes a kick in the Marvel movie? Sounded like that. That's her moan. That'd be a fun thing to do. We should just caption a porn one day. Take one of those terrible ones off the Pornhub.
Well, and the funny thing is like, because I've had to like write like transcripts of like stuff like I've shot, because like if you like really like do like every little detailed piece of work that like you could do, like especially with doing like documentary stuff.
Yeah.
With documentaries, you really need to like create a transcript of everything, so you can like literally just like go like look at the paper and go, I want this, like I want these words and these words, and like craft it that way. And like there's like online software where you just like you upload an audio clip of the video and just sit there and transcribing it, and like you can choose to have it play faster or have it play slower. And so it's like, but if like, depending on what they're doing, they might also have the video too, because they said like they're watching it too.
Yeah.
And it's like they have the video, and like they'll probably watch it, depending on how good they are, slowed down a little bit, which is like slow motion porn just sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
Or sped up a little bit, which also is like, yeah, really. So it's like either way, like you go like you have it either run slower or faster, or if you're like just on that weird cusp of like where you just watch it normally, it's like it's just an odd experience. So like you have to listen to it sped up or slowed down.
Well, it's like it's all the same stuff you do in any movie. It's just for some reason it's more fascinating to watch someone struggle to do it with porn. I don't know. It's a new thing to me that is fun. Well, that went by pretty quick, man.
Oh, that time already?
Yeah, almost. Any other fun stuff going on? Emily, like in her nursing job yet, or whatever? I don't know. How's Zoe?
Sad trail off. How's your girlfriend doing? She's good. She's wrapping up undergrad right now.
Okay.
She'll be graduating in December.
That is for nursing, or?
So right now her undergrad degree is for nutrition.
Okay.
And then she's trying to get into physician assistant school, PA school.
Okay.
So
cool.
Nursing's an option if something doesn't work out.
Yeah, but she's got a little bit more focus on more of a specialty.
Right. Well, yeah. Physician assistant. So like, there's like there's nurses, nurses assistants, nurses, and then there's like nurse practitioners. That's like that like tree of career pathway, if you will.
Yeah.
And then there's like people who like go and be like physician assistants, and physician assistants and nurse practitioners are like kind of on the same level. Like places either hire one or the other. They may hire both, but like typically it's one or the other. Doctors' offices will probably use physician assistants versus like hospitals probably use nurse practitioners. Yeah. I'm speaking out of my ass here because I don't know for sure.
Yeah, it sounds.
But that's totally like true I do know they are at the same level. It's just like physician assistants follow the a different theory of treatment. Nurse practitioners follow the nursing theory of treatment.
Yeah, so it's a little more like the doctor's office kind of end game versus like a hospital.
Yeah, I mean, like she's not like she won't have the title of like doctor unless she gets a PhD. Yeah. Well, maybe she will. See, I don't know. Maybe she will have the title of doctor, but like she won't be like the head like doctor and stuff. Like go to school for 12 years.
That whole field is a freaking mess to me. I don't know anything about it. It is. As long as it's going good, that's all.
Yeah, it's going good. So she'll graduate and walk, and then we're both gonna go on a vacation actually, and like right after that, like she walks and does all that on like the 12th, and then like 3 days later we are going out of town to go to New York for a couple days. So that'll be fun.
That's exciting. Like the 12th December.
December 12th. Yeah, she walks December 12th, and then like the 15th we leave.
That's awesome.
To go out of town to go to vacation. We're driving to New York. We'll be there for a little while.
Ever been to New York?
I haven't. She has when she was younger, so she remembers it a little bit. If I was like too young to remember.
Yeah.
So this will be my like first time like going as far as it matters with me. So I'm excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
That'll be cool.
We're saving up some money to do it, and we're gonna have fun going out there. We got our hotel booked.
Don't try and do everything. So like, because there's gonna be way too much to do out in New York. So just don't stress yourself out. Like we went to Chicago and it was like that's not as big as New York, but I couldn't even, like, my brain couldn't accept how big the place was.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just like, stay in one area.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I went to Chicago once, and like I think we were there. I think we just went for 5 days.
Mhm.
Like looking back on them, like what did we do those 5 days? We went to Giordano's, or how do we pronounce it?
Giordano's, the
Giordano's,
best of the
the
best
best
pizza in
pizza
the
I've
world.
probably ever had.
Yep.
We went to the pier, and it's like still, it's like the end of winter, so it was cold. So like,
Yeah.
that was like part of it. So it's like you're in the Windy City, and it's cold as hell. It's like I know, like we went to the pier, we went to like the Michigan Street, the main street there, and walked around to the malls.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know what we did the other 2 days. I know we didn't go to the aquarium or anything like that, but it's like 5 days, and like I only remember like doing a few things, but like it's because like there's so much to do.
It's craziness. Yeah, we were only there for a weekend for the UFC, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Zach. Thanks a lot for doing this with me.
Yeah, of course.
Which I mentioned it in the last couple of podcasts. You still don't have. Do you have a name yet? Damn it.
Yeah. So I'm not. You're gonna be disappointed. I'm going like it's just gonna be Zach Lucassian LLC. It's like just as far as like
feeling you're going that way, and I'm disappointed.
Well, I mean, I it's I haven't really come up with like a name that I like of like such and such productions or whatever. And really, as far as like the career path that I'm going down right now, it's not like I'm personally like creating anything.
Right.
So maybe at that point I'll like be like, oh, I'm gonna have this production company, which I can establish one specifically for a film if I want to.
Right.
But
yeah, right now you're just promoting yourself.
Yeah, it's promoting myself, and really like I'm just like promoting like me as an individual, not like a company, if you will.
Right.
And like really, it's just like to have like an actual name for like something like LLC or whatever.
For just you to jump onto.
It's just easier like for the billing whole thing, so it's just gonna be Zach Lucassian LLC.
All right. Well, we thank our sponsor, Zach Lucassian LLC.
You don't have to say LLC.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it every damn time now. Even like outside of this, I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, what's up, Zach Lucassian LLC?" On the side of the road.
You would be correct, but it'd be odd.
Well, thanks for doing this. If people didn't listen to the last couple, Zach puts this all on YouTube because I cannot fathom how to do it. So.
Well, also I fix it in
post.
post.
He touches it up and does his magic, his movie magic.
Which is not much.
Puts the porn subtitles in and then gets it all done. Thanks, Zach, for doing it.
Yeah, it was fun doing this.
Yeah, we'll do it again.